Good morning children. Today we are on the third chapter of history, class 7. You can see here rise and spread of Islam. So in our last classes, two chapters we completed, and in that two chapters we have studied about Christianity. And this Christianity started in the 1st century, and now we are going to study about a religion that emerged during the 7th century, that's Islam. So in this chapter we will study about the founder, about this religion and the circumstances that led to the emergence of this religion. Now we'll start the chapter. You can see here. As an introduction, we can say that what are the circumstances that led to the emergence of this religion, and before that we'll see about the importance of this religion. And the most significant event happened in the medieval period is the emergence of two important religions. The first one is Christianity. We have already learned about that. Now the second one is Islam. It started in the 7th century CE. That means CE means Common Era, and it started in Arabia. The founder is Prophet Muhammad, and the book, that is their holy book, is called Quran. We all know about all these basic things. And now we will study about the life of Prophet Muhammad and the socio-religious circumstances that led to the emergence of this religion, etc. Now let's see the important topic or the main topic of our chapter, that is the pre-Islamic time. What a pre-Islamic time means, the period before the emergence of Islam as a religion. So usually we use this word pre-Islamic. That states that the period before that, what was the condition in Arabia before the emergence of Islam. Islam began in Arabian Peninsula. I think you all know what is a peninsula. It's an area which is covered three sides by water and one side by land. Here Arabia, on one side it is Asia and the other side it is Africa. So we can say that it's a place which is between Asia and Africa. So Arabia, in this place in Arabia, this religion emerged. It spread over a vast territory and extended from Egypt to Afghanistan. It is in the period 600 to 1200 CE. So this religion emerged in the 6th, we can say that it started in the 7th century, and gradually it became a very popular religion. Now the main occupation of the people who lived in this whole area, that means in Arabia, their main occupation was agriculture. Though they lived in a place where it's a desert region, their main occupation was agriculture. Now the prominent towns, two important towns were there during that time. They are Hijaz and Yemen. They are the most important towns during that time. Now before the emergence of Islam, the people lived life, means their life of the people was categorized into two ways. The first one is called, we can say that the people lived in the cities called as the city dwellers, and the other one as the Bedouins. These Bedouins are the people who usually wander from one place to another, and their main area where they lived is the Arabian deserts. And let's see about their life and with the social life of these people. The city dwellers are called the settled folk. They settled in their place and they lived throughout their life. They were traders, they were agriculturalists. They rarely traveled or they rarely moved from one place to another. But the next group is called the Bedouins, or the dwellers of the desert. We know that the desert, living in a desert is not that much very splendid, or it's not a very good life. So they used to wander from one place to another. They are usually traders, they usually trade dates and other such type of things. So they are wanderers, and the other group is the settled flock of Arabs. The Bedouins, they wander from dry to green area of oasis. We have studied about oasis from the smaller classes. It's a place inside the desert where water is there. So it's a lowland, you can say that it's a lowland where the water is concentrated and plants can be seen, and people used to settle there for getting water, for giving water to their camels, etc. So these people are they used to wander from one place to another, and they settled in, or temporary shelters they used to the oasis. And in the desert in search of food, and fooder. Fooder means food which we give to our cattle are called fooder. So they wander from one place to another in search of food for themselves and fooder for their camels and for their cattle. Now let's see a picture of oasis. This is an oasis where you can see the water inside the desert and the plants growing here. Usually date palms grow here, and people used to make temporary sheds here, and it's not for living throughout the year. It is for as a temporary settlement. They stay here near the oasis, and after drinking the water, after feeding the cattle, they used to travel to the next destination. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is about the Arabian tribes. The Arabian tribes are divided into a number of friendly clans. Clans, we can say that it is like a tribe. It is divided into different groups, and these groups are called Kabila. Their groups are called Kabila. Like we used to say that in our country that there are so many tribes are there, or religious groups are there, and like that for them they used different group, and that group or tribes are called Kabila. And this head of the Kabila or a group, we can say that it's a tribal setup and a group of tribes or a group of people living, and in that place the head was called as a sheikh, and we have heard about Arab sheikhs and all. Like that they use this word used by them, and the head of the tribe is called a sheikh. Sheikhs are partly chosen. How they are chosen? They are chosen in two ways. One, partly chosen by their caste or by their tribe, on the basis of their tribe. And the second one is about their merit. That merit is very important because this person has to take care of the remaining groups. So the first one is their family, and the most important part is their qualities or their qualifications. They must be on the basis of their courage to look after the group, wisdom to take sudden decisions, and the third one is generosity. While taking the final decision, you must be generous. So these three qualities are very necessary for a leader. So these three qualities they find in a person, he will be used or categorized as a sheikh, and everybody will follow the rules and regulations made by him. Now the second category is non-Arabs. Non-Arabs are called Mawalis. I think this word is very familiar to you, and they are called as Mawalis. So two groups are there. One Arab group, and their clans, tribes called as Kabila, and the second one is non-Arabs. They are called as Mawalis. And in most of the stories and in writings, we can see that these two groups were constantly fighting with each other. So that is about their Arab tribes. Two tribes are there. One Arabs, and the second one is non-Arabs. Now about their religion. When we come to the second part, we have finished their social setup. Their social setup means they lived in a tribe. Now about their religion, we cannot call their religion as a Jewish or a Christian or any other religion. They worshipped a black stone. That was their religion, and no name was given so far at that time. God was worshipped as an ideal, means image worship was prevalent during that time, and that is called Sanam, their ideal or that image which they worshipped, which is called as Sanam. So the idol was called Sanam. In the shrine or in the temple or the place where they worship is called their masjid. So the first one is idol worship, second one is their shrine or their temple called as masjid. The tribe in which Prophet Muhammad later became the proponent or the founder of Islam, he was the person who was born in a tribe called Quraysh tribe. And in that tribe, he belongs to his family name was that, and he was born in that. And he was the person who was controlling the shrine called Kaaba. I think you have heard or seen at least the image of Kaaba, and it's a very popular. We can call it as the Great Mosque. and it's the most popular and the most like golden temple for Sikh. This Kaaba is the most famous and the most important mosque for Islam, or the worshipping place. So here it's a cube-like structure. It's made up of a black stone, and these people during that time, the Arabs considered this black stone as a very important, very pious or pure or such a very important thing, and they used to worship that. So he was the person, Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad was the person who looked after this Kaaba, the person who take care of Kaaba. People used to make annual pilgrimage. Now also people used to go there, an annual pilgrimage, and that annual pilgrimage we call it as Hajj. And you can see this Kaaba here. It's Kaaba. It's in Arabia. You can see the black stone here, a cube shape that the people worship there. People used to go there, and one of their basic principle is at least go once to this Kaaba and worship there. That is 5 principles are there of Islam. In that, one of the most important principle or in their belief is that we have to go at least one for the Hajj. Now, birth of Prophet Muhammad. This Prophet Muhammad is the founder of Islam, and earlier you have heard about Prophet Muhammad. He was the person who was looking after Kaaba and all. Now we will see about his life, and here you can see that he was born in 570 CE. He was born in Mecca in Saudi Arabia, and he was born as a posthumous son. Posthumous son means a child who is born after the death of his father. Means while he was in his mother's womb, his father expired, and he was born like that. And when he was 6 years old, his mother also expired, and he was brought up by his uncle. And when he became a grown up, his uncle engaged him in doing trade. He traveled to different places, came in contact with different people, and like that once he met this Khadija. She was a widow and a very rich woman. He married her, and after so many years he traveled, his traveling, his trade prospered, and while traveling he came in contact with different religion. During that time Jewish religion and Christianity was very popular, and he met so many people related to this religion and studied about many religion and about its gist, about its content, etc. And he was very much excited and interested with all these religious matters. And during his travel he met these people, and he started thinking about making a religion, and he made so many imaginations about the religion, and he became a very good follower of these religion. We cannot say that he was a follower, but he was interested in religion. After many years he spent his time in doing prayers, meditation, etc. in Mount Hira. And after many years of prayers and meditation, he got a vision of Archangel. Archangel means a main angel called Gabriel. And the first word spoke was called recite. Recite means reciting the prayer means saying the same words of God again and again. So that word came from his mouth was recite. Is called Iqra. In Quran and all you can see the word Iqra, and Muhammad declared himself as the messenger of God. He considered him as the messenger of God, and was called as Rasul, and preached the word of Allah. He started preaching the teachings or words which was given by Allah. He told that while doing meditation in this Mount Hira, he got a vision of Gabriel. Along with that, he got the knowledge, like we heard about Buddha got enlightenment. Like that, he also became an enlightened one, and he also started giving preachings of Allah, and he became the Rasul or the messenger of Allah. Now, again, his spiritual life continues. He found a new religion, and the name of that religion is Islam. And the word Islam in the Arab, its meaning is submission to the God's will. That means everything what happens is according to the will of God. So we have to submit ourselves to the will of God. So Islam, it's an Arabic word which means submission to the God's will. That is the most important theme of this religion. That means submitting yourself to the will of God. His revelations are compiled in Holy Quran. Along with this, the Hadiths. Hadiths are his words, and so two things we can see in Quran. The first one is the things which is told by Allah or the God to him, and the second one is his own ideals and principles. So these two things we can see in Holy Quran. The followers of Islam came to be called as Muslims. Now, the principles of Islam, we can see there are so many principles followed by these people, and they believed in the unity of God. That doesn't mean that there are so many gods. They only believed in a single God. That's very important. Islam preached that there is only one God, and Muhammad as its messenger of Allah, and he is the preacher of that religion. And that God, the single God, is God Allah, and Muhammad is considered as the messenger of Allah and the preacher of Islam. They rejected idol worship. They said that there is no need of worshipping image of God. They worship the God without any image. They laid emphasis on collective prayers, pray together, benevolence, brotherliness, and lack of greed. So this is the main thing of Islam. They have to follow all these things. They have to do prayer together, benevolence, brotherliness, lack of greed. All these are the principles followed by Islam. Now, there are 5 main principles are there which every Islam have to follow. That is considered as the 5 important principles, and these principles are: there is only one God, and that is Allah, and Prophet is his Muhammad is his prophet. So Muhammad is his prophet, and there is only one God, Allah. The second one is all Muslims must pray 5 times. Their prayer is called namaz. They have to pray 5 times a day, and on the day of Friday they have to go to mosque and do the prayer. That is the second principle. Third one is they must fast from sunrise to sunset on the month of Ramzan. And in this holy month of Ramzan, they have to fast. The fourth one is they must give alms. Alms means they have to give money or help the poor in the holy month of Ramzan. And this money or whatever they give is considered as a thing which they give to their God, or it's considered as an offering to their God. And that is called zakat. And to make a pilgrimage to Mecca, called as Hajj, is their 5th one. So these are the 5 important principles. Is the most important topic which you have to learn in this chapter, and this is what you have to study. And if it is asked for the exam also, you cannot say that 3 points, you have to write it completely. So once again I will tell 5 principles of Islam. They are there is only one God, and that is Allah, and the Prophet is Muhammad, and all Muslims must offer prayer 5 times a day, that is namaz. And the third one is they have to give zakat or alms to the poor people, and the next one is take pilgrimage to Mecca, and one more I left, that is they must fast on the month of Ramzan from sunrise to sunset. So these are the main topic which you have to learn in this chapter. The remaining about the next thing is that is migration of Prophet Muhammad, about the caliphate, and all will continue in the next part of this chapter. So you can read the textbook, and your question answers are already given. You can write that, you can learn that. So only this much, whatever things we have learned, I think you all remember. So once again I will tell that we started from the introduction, that means the importance of this religion, then about the pre-Islamic time, and about the 2 divisions, the Arabs and non-Arabs, and then about their social life, about their religious life, and about the Prophet Muhammad, and about the principles of Islam. So study well, stay home, and stay safe. Thank you.